right, everybody, welcome in. Thursday edition of Concrete Jungle, a New York baseball podcast. Paul Russo, alongside me, Kyle Evans, manning the controls behind the scenes. Nate Sharman. Boys, welcome in. Happy Thursday, almost Friday. The weekend is right ahead of us.
Yeah, I think the week, again, went so quick. Just a lot of things going on. But it's been a good week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all pretty good stuff going on. I'd say a lot of history being made in the big leagues.
Been a little bit of a rough week for Nate, probably.
Well,
except for Monday night, that his Bills got to win.
I'm about to say, you guys had a nice little victory. Monday night, Kyle, good atmosphere, I'm assuming. You did officially go.
Oh, yeah, it was wild. Probably the loudest I've ever heard it there.
Really? That's awesome. Yeah, Nate, a little bit of a rough week for you, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit to be expected at this point in the season, but some positives to be made out of that baseball team, I think.
Sure.
The young boys are playing well, so. But like Kyle said, Bills got the victory on Monday. They look dominant, so
Yeah.
all good over here.
Yeah.
And Amherst hockey's coming.
That's
And
true.
some Buffalo hockey's
Nate's
coming.
really,
They're
Nate's
going to announce a
looking forward to
captain
that.
pretty soon. Getting me pretty excited for the season coming up, huh, Kyle?
Oh, yeah, can't wait.
I know this is a baseball podcast, but can I recommend Alex Tuck for captaincy of the Buffalo Sabres?
Paul, sorry to get off track here, but did you see the video of Alex Tuck at the game?
I did.
He was doing the Buffalo chant, and
Yep.
nobody even knew it was Alex Tuck.
Yep.
It's absolutely hysterical to watch.
Wait, you know who he was there with? Friday Beers.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, really. So, yeah, let's dive right in. We'll start, I think, with the Mets today, since we did the Yankees on Monday. Pivotal three-game series with the Brewers. They handled business. They took 2 of 3. We weren't expecting a sweep, but we kind of figured it would go 2 of 3 either way. Could have seen either option, I guess, really becoming a possibility. Obviously, the first 2 games were really the true highlights for the Mets. Monday, a 7-2 victory. Max Scherzer picks up the win, 10th on the year, 10-4 record, a 2.15 ERA. Lost to Corbin Burns, 10-8, a 3.12 ERA for him. Scherzer, 6 innings, 9 strikeouts. That was a perfect game for him, and got pulled because of pitch count. I think I mentioned it in conversation here in the office. I think a little bit might have had to do with them being a bit gun shy with what happened with DeGrom, maybe a little bit over the weekend, to some degree. I don't know. I feel like I would have at least probably let Max go on at least the 7th inning out there. But either way, I mean, you come out with the victory no matter what. We'll have to wait for the first ever combined perfecto in MLB history. But until then, we'll digress. Pete Alonso, 3-run home run that happened in the 4th inning, got the game kind of broken open. Also, stole a bag, polar bear, can run every now and then. Sneaky stuff. Francisco Lindor, 2 for 5, a triple, RBI, and 2 runs scored. Tuesday, a little bit more of the same, maybe not quite as much. 7-5 victory. Yuli Rodriguez picked up the win, 2-4 out of the bullpen. Now 4.63 ERA for him. Taylor Rogers, 4-8, took the loss. 4-8 now, 5.07 ERA. Sugar Diaz picked up the save, his 31st on the year. But Rogers possibly became the latest MLB meme, I'll call it, with it because of Francisco Lindor. 2 for 3, home run. Obviously, the go-ahead home run came off the Taylor Rogers pitch in the 8th inning. Home run, walk, 4 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Pete Alonso, 1 for 4. Hit another home run. Mark Hannibal, 1 for 3 with a walk and run scored. But yeah, those first 2 games were really interesting for the Mets. Good to see them kind of bounce back to a degree Tuesday to really kind of come through and get what, to me was a pretty convincing victory by the end of it. Obviously, I know I mentioned it with Taylor Rogers. You were able to meme another team's closer, one of their top-end guys, so that's always a good positive across multiple fronts when that happens.
Yeah, that was such a huge hit for Lindor, the grand slam. On the same night that the Yankees had a grand slam, as we'll mention later. I don't remember the last time 2 New York teams both had a grand slam in the same day, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, back-to-back big wins in Milwaukee, a team that's fighting for a wild card spot, and just impressive wins back-to-back.
Yeah, and then we'll move into Wednesday. Obviously, this is where history kind of gets made a little bit for the Mets in all sorts of wrong directions, I guess. 6-0 loss. Milwaukee got the win. Trevor Gott picked up the win out of the bullpen. 3-2, a 3.92 ERA for him. Talon Walker took the loss. Only Smith on the year, 12-5, a 3.53 ERA. Francisco Lindor went 1 for 2 with a double, and this is where things kind of get sideways a little bit for all the wrong reasons. Mark Canha 0 for 1 with 2 hit by pitches, and Luis Guillorme 0 for 2 with a walk, and what ended up becoming the record-breaking 106th hit by pitch on the year for a Mets batter.
That's so crazy to think about.
Yeah. So a pretty good transition here. We'll jump right into this. Obviously, the Mets 106 hit by pitches in a season. Absolutely incredible. We talked about it a little bit on Monday, but I think it's worth talking about again, maybe a little bit more deeper. Again, last night when Guillorme got hit specifically, and this is the one that stands out to me, he just kind of looks over into the dugout, and at this point, Buck, I think he's at the beyond the anger portion of the grief, stages of grief at this point. Like, he just kind of shrugged, like, in disbelief, like he couldn't believe, like, this has now gone to the point where it got to, even. And again, you know, we mentioned it's tough, right? I mean, I think, you know, none of the big leaguers that I know of anyway are gun shy to be up in the box, but when when you're pretty much in the box and you look at Mark Canha, like, for example, yesterday with 2 hit by pitches, it's never a settling feeling being up there, especially in today's environment where guys are just throwing 95 to 100 pretty consistently.
Yeah, and it's hard to believe, like, I mean, this is, you know, a team that's fighting for a playoff spot. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're going to be trying to hit these guys with, at that point, I think it was only like 3-0, 4-0.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd be trying to hit them.
No.
So it's like not intentional, but it's like, how is it still happening multiple times a game?
Right.
It's just like, is it just bad luck? I mean, it doesn't seem like all these other teams are getting hit that like 2-3 times a game like the Mets are.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, part of it, you know, like you said, you had 3-0 ball game. It's not intentional. I know Guillorme's the count that Guillorme got hit, I think it was like 2-2 or 2-1, like something like that. Like, it's just, again, obviously they're not intentional, but, you know, that being said, it's not ideal by any means.
Yeah.
Also, you know, kind of look at it this way too with the Mets. It does put, at this point, your pitchers in a spot, and we'll touch on this, obviously, it's our next kind of topic. You know, it puts your pitchers in a tough spot, too, at certain points. I know the unwritten rule aspect of I'm going to plunk your guy because, you know, my guy I plunked earlier, kind of gone by the wayside a little bit. You know, that being said, it does still put, I think, your pitchers in a tough spot because, you know, no pitcher that I know of really wants to exactly go after a guy for the most part. I mean, I know there are some psychos out there that just love doing it. But that being said, very few really want you. Like, you know, I've never really been around a guy, even in my experience, where they just want to go after a guy's head. Quite the opposite. I mean, they kind of, you know, the way they see it, they'd rather just go right at you and shut you down. You know, I know you were a pitcher, Kyle. You know, I don't, you know, I always say pitchers are kind of different animals in this sense. You know, but everything I've garnered from you is very much so kind of like what I said. You just assume kind of go out there and just shut them up by striking them out like on 3 pitches or something like that.
Yeah, I don't see the need of hitting somebody. I mean, I'm out there to, you know, try to win a game. I'm not trying to put people on base and this and that. Like, I've just never been a fan of that. And like a lot of times with the Mets, they're in a situation where if you hit a batter, that puts them in trouble.
Right.
There's no need to do it. Like, yeah, your guy got hit, but it wasn't intentional. Like with the Brewers, those are not intentional, you could tell. And I don't know how Mark Canha specifically keeps getting hit. I know Pete Alonso's up there too with the hit by pitches, but Mark Canha's been hit so much, and it's crazy. I don't know how it keeps happening.
Yeah, I know he, not yesterday, but I know within the past few weeks, there's been a couple instances where he's just been, and justifiably so, right? I mean, upset, and I mean, it happens. Like we say, I mean, no, you don't want to go up there and get beaten by any means, whether it's a 100-mile-per-hour fastball or 65-mile-per-hour knuckle curve. Like, it's not fun by any means. Okay, transition to pitching fully here for a second. The Mets, we mentioned, right, they're starting to get some, guys back. Specifically, the past couple days, Taylor Magle and Drew Smith come back in the bullpen. I know last night Drew Smith gave up a grand slam.
Pinch hit one, too.
Yeah. Kind of, like you said, it happens from time to time as a reliever. But I don't want to focus more on that. I want to focus on the fact that you got a couple of your bigger arms throughout the year back in that bullpen now. I know that they lost Tommy Hunter presumably for the rest of the regular season. But that being said, I kind of feel like, you get Smith back, you get Mago back, kind of, to me, certainly overcomes what you lose with Hunter. But that being said, we mentioned, right, they needed these reinforcements, and they're finally really coming here with, about 10 days left in the season.
And who's the other one that is down in AAA right now? Joey Lucchesi, I think.
Yeah, Joey Lucchesi.
Yep. I think, wouldn't he be an option possibly, too?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I know they probably wouldn't use him at all. I don't think he's postseason eligible. So, but yeah, I mean, he's lefty arm. I know they're worried about his consistency.
Yeah, but like you said, a lot of positive news, like with the pitching situation, especially for the bullpen, that has had some moments where they look like they've struggled, and adding those two arms obviously do help that.
For sure, and and look, it's a good and bad thing. They haven't had to use Diaz a lot recently. Obviously, got the save Tuesday night, but you look at it before, only really 2 saves in about 2 weeks, give or take. And look, I mean, they've had really great years, all things considered, out of Trevor May, Adam Ottavino. We'll get to what we'll call the good stuff here. We'll start, obviously, with the big league club. First postseason berth since 2016. Happens on the road, obviously. And, I mean, for a lot of these guys, I mean, they've been on the Mets since then, whether they have came in or they were part of that run. And it's certainly a big deal for a lot of these guys at this point, especially given the fact that they're still 1 game up in the division on Atlanta. And, look, all things considered, they've been primarily the bright spot of New York baseball, at least consistency-wise, through the whole summer.
Yeah, not only are they just barely going to get in the playoffs, they're going to be, well over 100 wins. I think so. I would say like 104 maybe. So that's also a cool accomplishment too, to win that many games in the season. Especially with them, they've kind of had some injuries on both sides, and they've been able to just get through it.
Yeah.
So,
and another positive note here for the Mets. Minor league baseball kind of wrapping up here, as we've been talking about with Rochester and Syracuse. But the single A affiliate of the Mets, the St. Lucie Mets, able to take and sweep the Dundee Blue Jays for the Florida State League crown yesterday. So congratulations to the baby Mets down in St. Lucie. Always a nice little positive boost throughout the organization when stuff happens. Obviously, Mets train in St. Lucie anyway. That's where their complex is. But, a lot of the guys rehabbing this year did have stops in St. Lucie. We mentioned Joey Lucchesi, but I know DeGrom had a couple starts down there. Scherzer, other guys, McCannell on the way, all had different bus stops in St. Lucie this year. So cool to see the baby Mets take the Florida State League crown. And the Florida State League is a really competitive league. I don't think a lot of people kind of realize that, just how competitive it really is. All right. The Mets, off today. It's a travel day for them. And then they get to go out to play the nemesis of the New York Yankees earlier this month, the Oakland Athletics. 3 games, 9:40 first pitch tomorrow night, Friday on SNY. Chris Bassett will get the start for Game 1, 14-8, a 3.32 ERA against to be announced. One of my favorite players, right up there with cash considerations. Saturday, 4:07 first pitch on SNY. Jacob DeGrom at 5-2, a 2.32 ERA against to be announced. And then on Sunday on 4:07 first pitch on your local Picks affiliate, Max Scherzer 10-4, 2.15 ERA against to be announced. So Oakland, no idea what the hell they're doing. Mets have an idea what they're doing. I'm going to go with the sweep in that situation.
yeah, I feel like there's just going to be a game that they don't win, so I'll say 2 of 3. Just because you just never know when you go out there and play in that dump of a stadium.
That's true.
Like with the Yankees, there's just weird games. Remember that extra inning game out there, and sometimes they're in games. So I just think they grab one. But yeah, the Mets win the series.
Yeah. So speaking of the Yankees, we'll transition right over to them. 2 games against Pittsburgh this past week, and 2 wins. They take the sweep. the baby sweep, whatever you want to call it. We need to come up with something for a 2-game sweep. Obviously 3 games, right? The broom, traditional sweep. 4 games, the mop.
I don't know.
There's got to be something for a 2-game sweep.
I've never been a fan of the 2-game sweep.
Like a Swiffer? Could we do that? Could we call a 2-game the Swiffer?
Sure. What does Nate say?
Nate, any?
I like the Swiffer.
Okay.
I think we can run with that.
All right, sweet.
Make sure that if anyone ever uses that though on social media or anything, we're crediting Paul Russo though, please.
Please credit, yes. Or don't sue me, Swiffer. So Tuesday was a 9-8 Yankee victory over the Pirates, but quite the journey to get to that point. Aroldis Chapman picks up the win, 3-3, a 4.41 ERA for him. Loss will get charged to Will Crowe, former national top prospect, 5-10, a 4.15 ERA. We'll start with Nestor Cortes, I guess, in this line of notable players. No decision, 5 innings pitched, an earned run, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. We'll touch more on him here in a second when we discuss Gleyber Torres once again in greater detail. I don't know. Which home run should we start with here? I guess we'll start in actuality with the walk-off grand slam that Giancarlo Stanton hit. Stanton went 1 for 4, obviously walked, but more importantly, walk-off grand slam in the 9th inning. Huge scene. Obviously on the coattails of the other home run that we'll discuss in a moment here, but I don't think I've really seen Yankee Stadium that rocking, that pandemonious, and it's been a while. It really has been a while.
Yeah, and he already had struck out 3 times in that game. I believe he was 9 for 73 since coming off the injured list. It was just like a big, I would say, confidence boost. But to be honest, against the Pirates, the way the Pirates are, I mean, I guess it wasn't that surprising that they erased the 4-run deficit in the 9th inning. Any other team, I feel like they don't blow that lead, but the Pirates, yeah, they're a 100-loss team. They're pretty bad.
And it's tough too because obviously Nate, Pirates fan, but I went and I've seen Pittsburgh in person twice this year. Their closer David Bednar, who was an All-Star, is hurt. That's a situation that he's probably, if you don't put him in even before the Judge home run, you probably put him in when it's 8-5 rather. At that point,
Will Crowe was solid in the beginning of the year. He's had some struggles though this past second half of the season.
Yeah, he really got out of the gate pretty good. I remember I had him in fantasy, and obviously not to get too far down that rabbit hole. I guess I don't know for sure, but even seeing him in person compared to like this past series, obviously like Tuesday night, I don't think he's necessarily tipping his pitches, but his delivery is slightly off from where it was at the start of the year.
That's a different conversation for another podcast.
I mean, it's a completely different thing. That's Coach Paul coming out. I apologize, people, but
that could be a good segment.
Yes. But
I'll still give him credit, though. I mean, you still have to, get in that situation. And I think Judge's home run did spark it. Because I think the energy going in that 9th inning was, even though Judge was leading off, the fans were happy and stuff, but I think the energy wasn't really there, especially in the dugout.
And credit to Stan. I mean, you mentioned, 3 strikeouts before, struggling, but he's never been a guy to kind of shy away from acknowledging that when he sucks type stuff.
Yeah, it's totally different than what Joey Gallo was.
Yeah. But obviously, what truly is the main headline of that game is Aaron Judge, 1 for 4 with a walk, but the home run in the 9th inning to get the rally going, the 60th home run of the season for Aaron Judge. First 60 home run season since 2001. Becomes the first, I believe, AL player to do it since Maris. This is big. He is on pace for 65 technically. That being said, there's a lot of pressure still on him. I know he had a great at-bats last night, and although we don't talk about it, I mean, he had 2 doubles last night. He's clearly still getting around on the ball, but to get to 60 at least, that probably does take at least some weight off of his shoulders on it. I know he's done a really great job kind of just dealing with the pressure and dealing with it, the added weight of the situation.
Yeah, all season too. He's been doing
but I think you could tell a little bit, at least yesterday, it was maybe a little bit more loose, all things considered, and that's a positive. But yeah, I mean, you look at Monday night, or Tuesday night rather, the 60th home run, obviously historical, but just big all around for the Yankees within that moment as well.
Another big thing, as we mentioned last show, Triple Crown is very much in play.
He is leading the Triple Crown race right now.
Up and Bogarts and Luis, how do I say his name? Arias. Yeah, I think it's going to be kind of a battle till the end. Those both are great hitters, and we'll see if Judge can come out on top. But it's going to be fun to watch the last couple weeks here.
Yeah, and obviously you played to your situation, but I know Arez is dealing with injury. I think it's kind of affected him a little bit. Obviously the Twins too, just
I believe
the skids the way they have is incredible. But
I believe he went 0 for 5 yesterday,
which is completely unheard of for him. You look at the stuff he's done all year; it's nuts.
It might come down to Bogarts and Judge, honestly. Bogarts was 2 for 4, just like Judge was.
So. And obviously we'll see that more on this, obviously in a few minutes. But we'll see plenty of it over the weekend.
I didn't even think about that. That's cool too. That they're both going to be fighting in the same series.
So we'll move to last night's game, a 14-2 victory. Luis Severino picked up the win, 6-3, a 3.36 ERA for him now. Renesmee Contreras took the loss, 5-5, 3.68 ERA. Severino, 5 innings, 2 hits, an earned run, and 6 strikeouts. As well, Cabrera continues his pretty good offensive start, being a pro-level Yankee player. 2 for 4, home run, a double, 5 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. But really, the man of the hour yesterday ended up being Gleyber Torres once again, 3 for 4. 2 home runs, a walk, 5 RBIs, 4 runs scored, but becomes the 5th Yankee all-time to homer twice in 1 inning when the Yankees bat around.
Only the Pirates give that up.
Well, possibly, but, I think I want to say most of Gleyber talk here for in a couple minutes, but just what a tremendous job he has done really here the past week or so. Just really, to be fair, outside of maybe Aaron Judge being probably, the most consistent bat within the meat of that order.
Yeah, I think that's not talked about a lot because of what Judge is doing. But I think first half Gleyber's back. If you remember in May or late May, we were talking, can Gleyber get in the All-Star game?
Right.
Like he was actually playing really well. And I don't know what changed, but he was horrible in August. And now he's finally turning the corner. And the best thing is October's right around the corner. It's a perfect time to get hot.
This is when you want to be. This is when you want to be. Obviously, Severino too, first start since coming back off the IL. Just a really good job, good start, good quality start, man. Looked really good. And, we'll kind of get this all now wrapped into one thing here, right? Not Judge, but Torres. I want to also shout, Nestor Cortes here with Torres because, these were 2 dudes who, like we mentioned, you just mentioned, Kyle, right? And May through June, right? I mean, these 2 were, the guys kind of really with Judge and Stanton at certain points, or just with Judge at certain points, kind of doing a lot of the work and carrying a lot of the load. Both kind of hit different stretches at different times where they struggled, but you look at Cortes, Tuesday night, got no decision, but another just quality Cortes start. He's getting hot again at the right time, and obviously Torres. I mean, these are 2 guys who, really the Yankees, they leaned on at the beginning of the year, and I think they're going to lean on now, and I think that's a good thing because I think they both really thrive within these situations.
I never thought I would say this, but I legit think Nestor Cortes is the number 2 starter in a postseason series.
Yeah.
Like, he's been that good. I don't think we really thought he would be this good at the beginning of the year.
No.
But, yeah, it's insane what Cortes is doing, and I'm excited to see him in a playoff game. It'll be his first career playoff game. So, yeah, I can't wait for October.
Let's also discuss quickly, Harrison Bader made his debut Tuesday, and it ended up being a nice little bit of fresh air for Yankee fans. Just kind of seeing what he was able to do. Maybe not so much in the field, but...
And how much he pissed Aaron Hicks off.
Well, I was going to say, in the lineup, the play that sticks out to me, right? It gets the RBI single, ends up getting to second base, and just completely reads the ball well on it wasn't a solid attempt by Brian Reynolds to slide and try and get the ball, but read it perfectly. He knew that was going to hit the ground, just read it like a book, and I don't even know if any of the Yankee base runners this year, and this isn't a knock on them, I don't know if any of the guys in the lineup this year would be able to do what Bader did on that play in particular.
Yeah, and it hasn't looked like he's missed 2 months with the way he played the last 2 nights. It's fun to watch. I'm glad he's starting in the outfield over Aaron Hicks, and hopefully he continues that.
And wearing number 22.
Jacoby Ellsbury.
Well, I was thinking Cano, but yeah, for whatever reason. I guess Clevin's coming back, but for the 3rd time. But yeah, I guess a bit of trivia here before we jump into looking ahead for the Yankees for the weekend. Aaron Judge leads all but one offensive category. Can either you, Kyle, or you, Nate, without either of you looking it up? I can't tell Nate what you would look up, but I do have eyes at least on Kyle's screen.
Steals.
Okay, it is steals.
And Cedric Mullins, I believe.
Well, I'm talking about for the Yankees specifically, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were talking American League because he does trail in that one stat.
Yes.
So wait, so it's not?
It is stolen bases. I will credit you, Kyle, for the stolen base.
Okay.
So who is the Yankees leading stolen base?
That's a good question. I know I'm going to sound like
I can see like the smoke coming from Nate's head and thought right now.
I can't think right now, but I know who has stolen quite a few bases, but I don't think he would lead that team.
Okay.
Gleyber Torres has stolen a lot of bases.
Okay. Nate, you have a guess over there? Any thought?
Timmy Castro.
Okay. Would you guys like to lock in those guesses?
I have no clue, so I just guessed my favorite
Nate's
Yankee.
locking in Tim LeCastro.
I'm on the spot right now, so I'm not
Bauer.
thinking deeply, but I'll just stick with it. But I don't think it's probably right. There's probably a guy that I'm like, oh, I should have said.
Okay. So you're sticking with Gleyber? The team leader in stolen bases with 20 stolen bags right now?
Yeah, it's not Gleyber.
Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
Okay. Yeah, see, that's, wow.
Yeah.
20?
20.
Jeez.
How about that? All right, the Yankees moving ahead to the weekend. 4 games in the Bronx starting tonight against the Boston Red Sox. For the sake of us, for the sake of this podcast, I hope Aaron Judge gets 61 tonight, maybe even 62 tonight. If not, this thing better hold till Saturday.
I kind of hope it holds till Saturday altogether.
Yeah. Oh, really? Are you telling us something that we don't know? Are you going to the game?
No. No. I want to hear Michael Kay in the call for both.
All right, fair enough. So tonight, 7:15 on Fox, Michael Wacha, 11-1 on the year, 2.61 ERA against Jameson Tyone, 13-5, a 4.04 ERA. Friday night, 7:05 first pitch at Smart on Apple TV Plus. Rich Hill, 7-7, a 7.0 ERA against Garrett Cole, 12-7, a 3.41. Saturday on Yes, 1:05 first pitch. Nick Pivetta goes for Boston, 10-11, a 4.35 ERA. He'll go against Domingo Germán, 3.12 ERA, and 2-3 record. Sunday, 7:08 on ESPN. Brian Bayo gets the start for Boston. 6 losses on the year, 2 wins, 4.75 ERA against Nestor Cortes, 10-4, a 2.61 ERA. Ideally, because I hate them, I'd love a sweep, but I know it's just not possible because it's the Red Sox. But I do think the Yankees take 3 of 4. I'm going 3 of 4 against Boston.
I'm just going to go and say a sweep.
All right. I love it. Yeah, I think that it's just always tough.
But about the Apple TV Plus game, a lot of talk about that.
Have at it. The floor is yours.
Obviously, I hate Apple TV Plus regardless of that Aaron Judge is chasing history, but I mean, fans saying that they should move the game, I mean, let's be real. It's been all year about money. They're not going to move the game off Apple TV Plus. But that's why I hope Saturday is the day the home runs happen, the 2, or at least only hit 1, I guess, in the next 2 games. Just because, I don't know, I want to hear Michael Kay in the call. I feel like it wouldn't be the same. The hype, the excitement, the history, I don't think it'd be the same without Michael Kay.
Yeah. I agree with that too. I agree. I think it depends.
Like, I don't know who's calling the game tonight.
I don't know who's on the Fox broadcast. I'll look that up quick.
I mean, would it be Joe Davis?
It might be.
It's probably Smoltz probably doing caller, but I don't know. I haven't heard who's on the call, and I don't know who's doing the Apple TV game either. So that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I don't think the one I clicked on is right, but yeah, it just got Fox. All it's saying is Fox right now. I'm sure Awful Announcing or somebody has it, but either way. Good news for the Yankees. The Rays and Blue Jays have been playing each other, and we were able to gain another whole game at least over everybody else in the division. Toronto still in second, 6.5 back. The Rays fall to 8.5 back in third. Always helps getting just a little bit more breathing room there as well. So plus all the way around so far, I'd say, for the week.
Yeah.
All right, before we get out here, touch on the Red Wings and S-Mets. Both teams 1-1 so far, a week-long series on the road. Rochester is in Buffalo. It's not too far of a journey for them. Loss on Tuesday, 2-3, but big win yesterday, 7-3, or 7-2-3 rather. Syracuse lost 2-3 on Tuesday night. Rain got in the way in Worcester, but did take a 5-0 win yesterday. Again, for Syracuse, really been the Francisco Alvarez show. Led the way yesterday. He has been really just on fire. Certainly would expect to see him more than likely. I think a lot of Mets fans probably hope that by the end of the year he'd be up there, but certainly would expect to see him in Queens next year and not Syracuse. But look, this is a guy who's been, that go-to guy since June, really. You see a nice dive and play there in the outfield. I believe that's, is that Mangum? No, he's righty. So, but either way, just the S-Mets really playing some good ball against top quality opponents. Same with Rochester the past couple weeks, all things considered.
Yeah, just 7 games to go. I think it's going to be interesting to see how these two teams finish. So basically, it's a week off, 7 games. I think both teams do have homestands for 3 next week, so that'll be cool. Each team will be home for the final 3 games. If you haven't been to the park, obviously it'd be a great time to go one last time. But yeah, AAA season is basically about over.
And it's wild. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because it's also exciting. I mean, this is the deepest we've had a AAA season in our lifetimes. Usually for us, I mean, they would wrap up about Labor Day and, that'd be about it. But the fact we got September baseball close by is always nice and appreciated. We get one more game in before the snow starts to fall. So, all right, that will do it for today's edition of Concrete Jungle. Appreciate everybody tuning in. You can catch us live here on YouTube or catch up anytime on the same spot, YouTube. Listen live and watch via Anchor and Spotify, or also a couple other major podcasting platforms. So any big plans over the weekend for you guys, or laying low?
I would love to go to Yankee Stadium, but I mean, it's probably not possible.
Right.
No, nothing really big. Just watching sports on TV.
Nice. Nate, big weekend for you over at the golf course. I know that. So good luck with the championship over the weekend. I know are you officially a WD on the weekend, or?
Well, I was never enrolled.
You're such a Nate's
So
a liar.
my name's not on the tee sheet, so we'll see. I'll be around for the weekend, though. Best of luck to our Vice President of Content here, Josh Durr. So he's won the last 4 at Silver Creek Golf Course. He's looking for his 5th in a row.
You could say
6th total.
You could say he's trying to be like the Yankees.
And he played well last night when we were playing last night on the back 9. So
much
see if
better.
Josh can take home another title.
Much better than you, and much better than I. So.
Yeah, well, it's not a contest, right, Paul?
Well, you play to win the game. All right, folks, thanks again for tuning in. We'll talk to everybody on Monday. Have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy, have some fun, and go sports teams for us.